皆さんこんにちは。毎日少しずつ社交に使える英語の上達を目指すソーシャルイングリッシュポッドキャストへようこそ。今日はぜひもっと自信を持って英会話してみましょう。 Are you ready, Percy? Let's go!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Social English Podcast. This is Percy, and I am so happy to be with you again today. It is a great early morning here in Japan, and today we're going to do another English Repair Shop episode. Today's episode is about somebody who wants to do some correct English for their job. Let's get started. Today, we have a guy who is at work, and for his work, he sometimes must do things in English. So, what does that mean? He needs help writing these business proposals because it's important that the English is correct. Well, first, let's check your English level. So, listen to this as my friend tells you about what English level you should be for this episode.
英語を学び始めたばかりのリスナーの皆さん、こんにちは。ソーシャルイングリッシュポッドキャストの今日のエピソードはあなたのためです。それでも問題が解決せず、このエピソードの英語が理解できない場合は、ゆっくりとエピソードを聞いてください。頑張れ。
For this episode, these episodes, English Repair Shop, we're going to have 4 different parts. In part 1, what's going to happen is you will hear the original English from the Japanese person. In part 2, you will hear my corrected English. In part 3, I will give you any hints, tips, or advice that I have. And in part 4, I will say the entire thing in correct English one more time in fast social English so you can hear what it sounds like correctly, or what it's supposed to sound like in natural speed. This way you could hear what this sounds like, and you could start practicing getting better at listening to someone with a natural speed and a natural pronunciation. Okay? So, before we get started, let's hear those instructions for my Japanese audience in Japanese, just in case that was too fast.
すべての英語修理店のエピソードと同様に4つのパートがあります。パート1では、英語を勉強している日本人が間違っていったことを正確に聞くことができます。パート2では、会話型のソーシャルイングリッシュスタイルで正しい英語を聞くことができます。パート3では、パーシーはあなたが同じ過ちを犯さないようにするために、彼が重要だと考えるヒントをあなたに与えます。パート4で、パーシーは正しい英語版を高速で自然な速度で言います。このようにしてネイティブの速度で英語を聞く練習をすることもできます。
Alright, we're back. Now, let's get into today's episode, okay? So let's start with part 1. This is the wrong English. Please listen carefully as I go through it. And we could actually look at it together. Okay? Let's check it out. We are scheduling a lolly promotion next week. I think the display will increase sales. I would appreciate it if you could do the display of a lolly during the week. Would you be interested? Let's go through that one more time. Let's listen to that. You probably heard many mistakes if you are an advanced level. Let's do it one more time. I've tried to write a proposal to the clients. Could you teach me and correct my sentence? Okay. That part out. Okay. We are scheduling a lolly promotion. I think setting the display will increase sales. I would appreciate it if you could do the display of a lolly during the week. Would you be interested? Let's go through that and let's come up with part two. Part two. This is the correct social English version. Please listen to this. We are scheduling a promotion for your product next week. I believe the way we display your product will increase your sales. I would appreciate if you can do the product display during the weekdays. Would you be interested? Okay. So that's the correct English version. So let's go to part three. Here are the kind of mistakes. Now, the word lolly, I don't know exactly what that means. That can mean many things. It's not clear in English because it is most likely a Romanji version of a shortened word or a constructed Japanese Romanji word that is not used in English. In Japanese language, when Japanese, by societal customs, when the language or a word is used from another language, such as German, English, Portuguese, Spanish, whatever the language is, we understand those who understand English. We understand that here in Japan that is changed. So a lot of times Japanese will shorten the longer words because it's easier to pronounce and say. So keep that in mind. Be specific. What I would do is go type in what you're trying to say in Japanese, the word, just the word that you're not sure what that word is in English. Type that word into deepl.com translate. Okay, so I've mentioned DeepL before. Google Translate makes mistakes. It's not as accurate as DeepL. It is also free. So my advice is, if you have a word like lolly and you are unsure, or any word that is not a normal Japanese word, you should type it into DeepL. Or if the word does not have Japanese origin, if you want the English version, type it in Japanese using katakana or whatever the case may be into DeepL, and it will give you a very accurate English translation. For example, biking. Biking is a German word. It is written with the Romanized alphabet that the English-speaking people use the same word, but we do not. It is part-time. Advaito, not biking. Biking is buffet. So buffet is biking, but what I meant to say, advaito, which is part-time worker. Okay, so use DeepL for that. Let's look at some other advice I can give you. Well, I said weekend. So in the original, he said during the week for the proposal. During the week. But I said weekday, not weekend. I said weekday. The reason weekday, it is very specific that you're talking about the days Monday through Friday. So be careful with that. It's a little similar. You could say during the week, but you can also say the weekdays, just to be a little bit more specific. Okay? All right, so that's it for that. The last part today is our Fast English version, and let's go ahead and go into that. We're scheduling a new promotion next week for your product. I believe that the setting and the display of your product will increase your sales. I would really appreciate it if you can set this product display during the weekday. Would you be interested? Here's one more time. Here's a different version, a little bit different. We're scheduling a promotion for your product next week. I believe that our display and the setting we use will increase your sales. Would you be interested in this proposal? Okay, that's a little bit more specific in the second version, so please listen to both. If you need to slow it down, try to slow it down, and look up any words that you don't understand.
このショーを気に入っていただけたら、5つ星のレビューをぜひお願いします。コメントは英語か日本語でお書きいただければ喜んで読ませていただきます。realsocialenglish.com にアクセスしてぜひ無料でダウンロードしてください。ほとんどの日本人の英語を勉強している人がやってしまいがちな7つの間違いとその正しい言い方。また、毎日英語を上達させるのに役立つ資料もたくさんあります。Apple Podcast、Google Podcast、Stitcher、そして今はパンドラでもポッドキャストを購読いただけます。支援者になっていただけませんか？私たちがこのショーを作るための支援として5ドルの寄付をお願いできませんか？今後のエピソードで感謝の気持ちをお伝えします。また、そこでしか利用できない新しいコンテンツも入手できます。patreon.com/socialenglish からご参加ください。ソーシャルメディアで私たちのポッドキャストを友達にシェアしたり、Twitter、Facebook、Instagram のフォローをお願いします。
That is going to be it for today's episode of the Social English Podcast. I really appreciate you out there. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to this podcast or watching the YouTube version. What I'd like you to do for your action item today is think about something that you need to propose or present to someone or a group at your job. If you are a teacher, think of a speech or a training or something, an introduction that you need to give at school or at wherever you teach. If you are an advertiser, something that you need to propose, maybe some type of ad work or something like that. Just think of something that you need to present or show someone, and I want you to try to do this for at least 1 minute of it in English. So maybe 4 to 5 sentences in English, and practice with your avatar or practice with a friend. I'd like to thank you once again for spending time with me today. I really appreciate that. It's awesome that you're out there listening and sharing this information and learning English. It helps me make more episodes for you. So, with that being said, please subscribe, tell a friend about this podcast and YouTube channel. Okay? Let them know that they can learn some new English words and social English every time they come to the podcast or the YouTube channel. Please rate and subscribe and also leave a 5-star review if you could. It really helps people find the show. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next video or the next episode. Peace and love.
今日は楽しい時間をありがとうございました。ぜひ私たちのウェブサイト realsocialenglish.com を訪問して日本語訳と役立つ情報を手に入れてください。また次回お会いしましょう。バイバイ。See you next time. Bye bye.